and introduce Jaseem Pirani from MuseLAB for an expert speak session. He will present on a topic of his choice related to the session theme. The topic is Design and Scale. Jaseem Pirani is the co-founder of architecture studio MuseLAB, a leading design firm in Mumbai known for its innovative and sustainable approach. He has led MuseLAB for the past 11 years. His design philosophy is centered around creating spaces that are not only functional and efficient, but also inspire and uplift the human spirit. Can I have you on stage?
Just to start off, this practice was started with Josefa and myself, two of us. The practice actually started in 2012, but the story, I think, started in 2008 in Mexico. This is when we went on a trip where we thought that, we were friends and we went on this trip to Mexico where we thought we will end up someday starting a company that makes graphic t-shirts. We never thought we'd end up being partners running a practice. So our story began in 2012 in this four people conference room, which was graciously given to us by my dad to kind of, this is where I guess our story began, and this was our nest till we finally, sort of began growing with the number of people, and we thought it's a high time that we, kind of build our own nest. And this is when we moved into a 200 square foot space. So from probably about a 50 square foot to a 200 square foot space in 2015. And at that time, we were only about 4 people. And we were in this space for quite some time. And circa 2022, we moved into this lovely space. And the reason I'm showing the space is because I think our spaces are a reflection of how our practice evolves as well, our design sensibilities as well. And it's very important. We spend so much time in our studios that I feel it's very important to make them what we want them to be perceived as, reflected upon as well. And we also sell vision and ideas to clients. But I think we need to do it for ourselves as well. So this is what we are at now in our headspace in terms of an aesthetic. So looking at scale, we're just going to go through, most people that have been to Starbucks are familiar. So I'm just going to use that as a scale where we're looking at short, tall, grande, venti, and trenta. The 6 different scales and how we as a practice have explored or dabbled in all of it, starting with product, short being product. And as you can see, we don't look at ourselves just as architects making buildings that work. We also feel like design is all encompassing, like I said, and the need to kind of start playing with product came in about 2015 is when we thought that, okay, 2012 we started our practice. Those 3 years we've spent enough time looking for projects or trying to please clients. So in 2015 we thought it's high time we start exploring, and starting with products at that scale, it gave us sort of the opportunity to be able to research and work with material and build a brief for ourselves. So the brief is not given to us by a client, but it's kind of self-derivative. So this gave the opportunity to experiment, play with materiality at a smaller scale, which was also in some way economically viable for a smaller practice at that time. So this is a project which is really close to our heart. This is something that happened during the lockdown. We have also designed toys. So people are aware of the art of Channapatna. So we worked with Channapatna artisans during the lockdown, where we thought, we've all seen what Channapatna toys look like, but we wanted to make them modular, we wanted to make them stackable, and we wanted to show what is the possibility of it. And we have sort of called it Muse Tribe because it's inspired by the different people that we work with as well. Each one is a character. And the idea is these toys are also gender fluid. And there is a lot more to this story. We're time bound, so I'm going to go a little faster. The idea is that the purpose, we launched these toys as an installation at Raw Collaborative in Ahmedabad. And it was not just to serve the purpose of an installation. After the installation or the exhibition was over, these toys were then distributed amongst public schools in Ahmedabad itself. So the idea was that the story lives on and each product lives on. It doesn't die with the end of an exhibition and end up in a landfill. And there's a lot more possibilities with this as well, which we are further exploring as a studio. Coming to tall. So, we sort of moved on to slightly bigger products where we've explored with lights, collaborated with different people to also develop basins. This is just one such product, and the sketch shows you a process of how we developed a chair. We've all seen the old Calcutta cane chair, but this is sort of our take on it with combining the footrest and the backrest together. And the way the form developed, it always seems that it's in motion. And we call it cane crush because it's our love for the material cane. Okay, coming to Grande. Grande is where we look at various kinds of interior projects that we work with. And they vary from very maximalist, as you can see, to something very minimalistic as well. This is a project that we did in Bombay. It's a small apartment, a 2 BH, we combined two 1 BHKs to create this apartment for a lawyer. He stays by himself, and his brief to us was, I want something Philip Johnson-like, can you imagine that, in Bombay, with no walls. I think it was the most bold brief that we received. I don't want any walls, and hence we've called or christened this project Naked. So as you can see, we explored how the person would kind of behave within this space without walls. So we have from the kitchen, from where you cook till your bedroom, you can see it through and through. The space is completely open, and we've tried to keep it as naked as possible, as minimalistic but layered. So it goes back to the panel discussion that we had, because this is debatable. This may be not purely minimalistic, right? I mean, during the lockdown, as we were talking, everyone was talking about essentialism. So we call this as part of essentialism more than minimalism, actually, because this is what you need. These are the essentials. Yeah, some more imagery to show you how kind of, when it opens up, this was really a playground, a 1,200 square feet playground for people in Bombay, where everything, the interesting part was the client was very open to the idea of it feeling like a gallery as well, and therefore the products were a part of, or whatever, the furniture pieces were curated such that it seemed like a gallery as well. Okay, coming to Venti. I think this one is very close to, the project that I'm going to present as part of this. So this is just some imagery of the kind of architecture projects that we're doing currently. This project is very close to our heart. This is in Coimbatore itself. It is nearing completion. This is just to give you an idea in terms of its planning. So it started off as a courtyard house, and it further evolved. But the brief given to us was that this home is to be like a hacienda. Now you cannot take a Spanish hacienda and just place it in Coimbatore. It has to adapt as well. So if you can see within the plan, the edge walls are thicker. We ensured that there are deep overhangs as well to kind of protect you from the sudden cloudbursts that happen within Coimbatore as well, and also the harsh summer. So, this is what it kind of evolved into from a Portuguese, a Spanish hacienda into a contextual setting, which is what we were all talking about as part of the panel as well. So what I'm showing are in-process pictures, because we usually at presentations just look at editorial or publication images, but wanted to show that this is in process in how the design evolved from its 3D. So this is on top that you see the two structures. They are the two bedrooms, and they overlook the courtyard-like pool, which we saw within the planning as well. So those two are the two daughters' bedrooms that overlook a pool which is partially covered within the structure. So that's what the pool is that the two bedrooms overlook. This is from one of the bedrooms looking across to the other bedroom as well. And this is what one kind of discovers inside. So, where we see some of the Spanish buildings with the tiles outside, we brought the entire tiling on the inside. And this entire vault, which has a little lounge-like space in a pool, is completely enveloped in these mosaic tiles. And as we move around, turn around across the building, this is what it's beginning to kind of look like as it's nearing completion. This is the library or the skylights that we have within the library space on the first floor, and that arch is the staircase arch that we saw. The taller arch is where the staircase is at. So that was, this is what's coming up in Coimbatore, and we're really excited about it. And hopefully in a couple of months, you'll see a complete picture. The last category, Trenta, we're really greedy. We didn't stop at architecture. We also wanted to do master planning. So we're also doing some master planning projects. And these were initial explorations that I think didn't materialize, but these are some dreams which we really hope to sort of see come to life someday. The plan on the left is for a resort which was supposed to be in Ossian, Rajasthan. And the plan on the right is a mixed income housing development in Dehradun, which also didn't materialize. But what we are working on currently now is this, which is in Madhya Pradesh. It's on the border of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. It's in an area called Kathiwada. So we have developed this entire, the interesting thing about this master plan is that is in collaboration with the community. So the stakeholders of the client are keeping that in mind, that as we develop the principal property, which is the Raj Mahal, which is going to be for a personal use, there are a lot of areas within the estate that are going to be for the community as well. These are all community spaces that are being developed, a bazaar, a cricket ground, a public gym. And as part of this master plan, we're also working on a school for that region, which is, so the master plan, the first stage is complete. Now the school design is beginning, which is what we're tackling first before we begin any other part of the project as well. So this is what we have, where we just wanted to showcase that we've dabbled in different scales, different isms, and we're not shy of any scale, whether it's small or big. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. May I now call on stage Mr. Abhishek Gura from Karakol to please felicitate Mr. Pirani. May I request Mr. Babu Sherian to please felicitate Mr. Pirani.